welcome back to Overtime. My name is Connor Durkin. Alongside me is my co-host, Connor Krebs, and we are very excited to be bringing you guys Season 2 of our Hersey Hoops basketball podcast. Today, for our first episode, we have head coach of the boys basketball team here at Hersey, Austin Scott, alongside senior guard Andrew Wagner. How are you guys today?
Doing great.
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Long time listener, long time guest. The Connor and Connor Show. We can maybe rename it this year.
Oh, yeah. Never know. So, I wanted to start off with your past game on Wednesday. Unfortunately, it was a loss, but I would assume at least you guys are excited you're out there and playing, right?
Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, it felt great to be out there. I haven't played in I don't know what you said. What was it, a year probably since last being on the Hersey floor. So, it was definitely nice, but it was definitely different without fans. But, the environment was still, I love to be out there competing. And, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool situation, especially with the case that, we were the first game in suburban Cook County, in all of Cook County, really, including the city of Chicago, to take place. So there were a lot of eyes on us. Which was a great experience for our kids and for our program and just the visibility of it. And, as Andrew mentioned, I think our players are willing to make a lot of concessions to make this season work, whether it's wearing masks or sitting in the cafeteria during sophomore games or playing without fans. I think they're willing to do it all just for their love of competition. So, you have to put a lot of thanks to GBS for making that work. They were prescient enough to understand that we were going to be in phase 4. They wanted that awesome burden of responsibility of being the first game in the area on Wednesday night and performed it without a hitch. So, you have to give them a lot of credit too. So we were just happy to be a part of it, but we got some things to shore up. That's definitely for sure as well.
Yeah, and there were so many questions coming into the season. We didn't even know if we would have one 2 weeks ago. So did you guys ever think, that's it, there's not going to be one? Or did you always have hope?
It was kind of, it was definitely hard on, I feel like, all of us. It's kind of hard to lose hope. But, honestly, Coach Scott and other coaches kept us in it and kept our heads up and just kept saying, they thought we were going to have a season the whole time. So, kind of raised our all of our hopes up. And, we're here now, so I'm just thankful for everything we have and just glad to be here.
Yeah, I was under the impression that the IHSA and the state was going to be flexible enough to make it work. I didn't know what it would look like. Didn't know when it would happen. But it proves that IHSA cares a lot about high school athletes and high school sports. And that was clear in their ability to adjust throughout the process, which gives us an opportunity. And every kid deserves at least an opportunity to play.
And then, like you guys said, a loss, obviously not the outcome we wanted, but we got another one tomorrow at home this time against Wheeling. What are you guys looking to do better or just improve on for tomorrow's matchup?
We talked about a lot of stuff during film and outside of it, and I just think we did a lot of selfish things and not taking the team in consideration. I think we did a lot of we over me, and looking back at it, I feel like we could do a better job of running our sets and actually buying into what everyone has to say, like Coach Scott, Coach White, Coach Rugg, Rowley. And, I feel like defensively especially, we could have been better talking, communicating. We can say there's an excuse with the mask and everything, but, we can't say that honestly. But I just feel like our effort wasn't really there compared to previous seasons, and I think it's a lack of play time together. You can't really blame it on that. I feel like it was just on ourselves, and we'll learn better from that experience. And if you can't learn, what's the point of even losing and trying? So, we'll put on a better show Saturday. I'll say that.
Yeah. And the way I think of it is a loss is only a failure if you don't learn from it. I think we learned a lot from Wednesday's opportunity. And And there's a lot of parts of our system that we need to get better at. Whether it's posting up, whether it's getting the ball in the post, like that's a two-pronged effort in the sense that you have to post up hard, you have to look in there, and actually, three parts of the system that we gotta throw the ball in there without turning it over. And I think when the ball goes inside out for us, we shoot a much higher percentage. And we have to understand that as players as well, that the quality of shots that we take directly influences the amount of shots we make. So we talked a lot yesterday in film, like, do we want to just take shots or do we want to make shots? And that's a deliberate thought process in terms of what we're looking for, resulting in what we're getting. But GBS, did a lot of things that put us off balance in terms of switching and stuff like that. And now we're kind of ready to combat that. So I think we learned a lot from Wednesday's game before our first conference game, which was the reason why we scheduled it. We wanted to play against somebody who was going to be prepared and would execute against us, so we could learn and get better. And I definitely think that we're going to use that struggle from Wednesday as a springboard to set up successes in the future.
Yeah, I mean, as Connor said, you guys did have a tough loss to Glenbrook South, but what is it like going into a game knowing you have to guard a guy like Nick Martinelli, who's easily could be the turnaround for their team or whatever and could easily go for however many points? How do you determine everything with him and how to guard him and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's a good question, Connor. It always makes me nervous as a coach. Obviously, I trust our guys, but you see what they can do on film and stuff like that, and then you kind of compile all the great things that they can do in your head, and it makes you nervous as a coach. 'Cause, you can put matchups or schemes in, but you can't really control it. But I know obviously from a player's perspective, it's a little bit different. Andrew has to guard a lot of great guards over the course of the season, and has over the course of last season too. So I'll let him elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, so definitely watching him in film is a lot different than actually being on the court with him. I mean, he's a great player. We all knew that coming in, and I mean, just watching his film, we all knew what he was capable of doing. And I mean, I feel like he just punched it down our faces, and I feel like we just didn't stick to what we had to do to stop him. We had a bunch of calls to get the ball out of his hands, and I feel like we didn't do that on a bunch of occasions. So, I mean, it's one thing to watch him on film, but it's another thing to play him. And I think we didn't really do a good job of relying on that film and bringing out the situations that we had to get the ball out of his hands, which I think definitely killed us.
Yeah, and then with that, Coach, I kind of noticed, how do you determine Ginder would start on him or play defense on him most of the game?
That's a good question. I think the first part of it is, does the athlete want the responsibility? Because it's a lot of responsibility, to guard a great player. And Griffin is somebody that loves that role, and really kind of champions that within himself. So that's the first step, is you have to give the assignment to a kid who wants the challenge. And Andrew and Ethan and Brent and Jack, Drew, Ryan, Ben, all our seniors that played a great deal of minutes on Wednesday want that opportunity. And then you have to ask yourself, are they athletic enough to get it done? Are they physical enough to get it done? Are they smart enough to get it done? Because great players, one of the real separators is they know how to get that first defender out of the game, whether it be foul trouble, getting them 2 fouls in the first quarter so their coach has to sit them, and then they're going against a second or third defender. Good players are smart like that. They think about things before they happen, and they plan on how they're going to do that. So that there's a lot of steps in the process for determining, who's the best matchup on an individual team. That's a great question, though, Connor.
Yeah, I mean, player-wise, I think we have to definitely have trust in each other, and I know Ginder could guard him because I've seen Ginder. He's physical, he's smart, he's probably one of the toughest kids on our team, if not the toughest, and he likes a good challenge. I could definitely say that. So, I mean, we all had trust in him. It's just a team effort at the end, so.
So you guys got your first conference game this Saturday or tomorrow. Um, Speaking of conference, who are some guys or teams this year that you guys have your eye on or you think will give you guys a good fight?
Andrew?
I mean, definitely prospect. I mean, it's always a challenge. Like we all know them. Rolling Meadows, I would say. BG. I feel like just all the closer schools that I guess some kids on our team went to school with them. So I mean, it's definitely a rivalry with them. Other than that, I would say definitely not in the East. I would something in the West, some team in the West. I would say definitely Palatine. I feel like it's a strong rivalry there with them too. I mean, we played them twice last year. We beat them both times, and I think they just want to come back and just beat us this time. So I mean, we got to be ready for that.
Yeah, and to go off Andrew's point, I think the strength of the MSL, both on the East and the West this year, is the depth. I think all 6 teams in the East are going to be really competitive. You know, for example, you look at Wheeling. Wheeling's got a 4-year player in Joe Jordan, Jaden Terrell, who's one of the longest and most athletic players, in a unique combination of athleticism and skill. And Solomon Hudson, who's been a 3-year player for them too. Like those are 3 of the top athletes in our league. And Wheeling has to feel good about where they're coming in. Obviously, Rolling Meadows, with the Christie brothers, but there's also Daniel Sopkowitz. There's Luke Duffer's good. They got a lot of things going for them too, as well as Orlando Hudson and things like that. Buffalo Grove is loaded, with Steph Harris and Cam Kraft and all those guys coming back. And then I think Andrew said prospects kind of a built-in rivalry. We know those guys very well. We sometimes went to middle school with them. And they've beaten us 4 times in a row. I've never beaten Prospect as a head coach. So that obviously is something that we're passionate about, but we're going to take it one game at a time. And I think with a short season, we really have to focus on, what's directly in front of our face in our schedule. And Elk Grove is going to be solid. I'm missing somebody. Am I missing somebody? But our whole schedule is tough. In the West, anytime you're competing against the MSL West with Palatine, Friends, Schaumburg, Hoffman Estates, Conant, like a lot of really good programs. And I think the league as a unit is tremendously well coached. Nobody's going to come in unprepared. So as players, you really have to be ready to go, or you're going to find yourself in adverse situations pretty quickly because everybody's prepared and ready to play, and everybody's got the players to play well.
I think that also makes this conference so great because there's so many close games every year too. It keeps it exciting for sure.
Yeah, so like with that, all the teams are strong. What do you think is your biggest strength that will help you beat the teams that are also just as strong as us and stuff like that? Like, what do you think will help us exceed from them?
Andrew?
One thing I would say is definitely our we have 8 seniors now, and 6 of them started last year, at least one game. But even the guys who didn't start last year, like they're still just as good as us, and they compete every day. So I would definitely say our seniors will help us, and also, I mean, that's kind of a tough question. I mean, we have athleticism, but like Wednesday, I feel like we didn't use it to our advantage and stuff like that. Athleticism, strength. We have Randall, and Drew Zagorska, the longest kids I've ever met. But we also have a lot of smart kids. But I mean, if we don't use these to our advantage, like you'll see the outcome just as often as Wednesday. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think as Andrew alluded to, 8 seniors, all of which who played last year, significant minutes. I think that experience in such a short season is valuable. There's a big learning curve between the sophomore level and the varsity level, as these guys found out last year. So to bridge that gap certainly helps us, and I think we're versatile in a lot of ways too. We can play man, we can play zone with some length. We have multiple guys who can score the basketball at different levels. Meaning they can shoot threes or get all the way to the basket. And they make each other better. They're good passers. They're unselfish. I think those are some of the key attributes to any successful team, and are certainly some that that Hersey is fortunate enough to have this year.
You guys mentioned the seniors returning from last year. Coach and Andrew, feel free to pitch in too. Who do you think has made the greatest strides from last year to this year on the team?
That's a really good question. And here's the thing, like from last year to this year, despite a global pandemic, I've seen some of the biggest jumps and improvement from junior year to senior year as I've ever seen in coaching. Okay. So first you could talk about, Jack Muglia and how much he's improved from the beginning of last year until now. And then, guys like Drew Zagorski who have gotten a lot better in different areas of the game. Ryan Goditis has improved tremendously. He's a lot more confident in his shot. He's making great passes, things like that. And then you have Andrew, Ethan, and Ben, who played significant roles in terms of minutes last year, who have elevated themselves to get to another level. And then Griffin has gotten so much stronger, which allows him to do so many more things on the floor from this year to last year. But I think there's been a lot of jump with guys who are freshmen last year and now are sophomores who are playing with us that are making strides every day. And the junior class is making strides every day too. And they're really competing against that first group, and it's making them better. It's a struggle at times, but it's making them better, and they're seeing that growth as well.
Yeah, so like you just kind of said, the returning leadership almost, like Andrew, Ethan, and Ben getting so many minutes last year, does that help? Do you think that gives your team an advantage?
I do. I do think it gives us an advantage in terms of they know the speed and they know the expectation, but they need to replicate and match that hunger and desire that they had as juniors when they're trying to earn minutes too, because that process of earning minutes is something that's ongoing.
So, Andrew, you mentioned this a little earlier about the fans not being present. With our first home game being tomorrow, there won't be any students in the stands. How much do you really think attendance affects the games?
I mean, it depends on the person. Like me, I feel like it doesn't really affect me at all that much, even though it's a little weird because once I'm in the game, I'm just zoned in and locked in and ready to go. But I know other people rely on the energy from the crowd, which is definitely affecting them. I mean, yeah, it feels a lot different, but I mean, our bench energy on Wednesday was honestly really good. I was really happy with it, with all the juniors and all the sophomores and the seniors who were on the bench. That really helped, honestly, me get through the game because I was pretty gassed. And also, I mean, yeah, I miss the fans, but I mean, the energy from our guys on the court, it's actually easier hearing them talking. So if there's a ball screen coming, I can hear it. If I know who has my help and stuff like that, so that's definitely helpful.
Another thing I did notice about this year's schedule is how close together the games are, and which means there's less time to make plans, practice. How are you guys really going about that with all that time being left out this year?
Yeah, traditionally, your division schedule is all on Friday nights. All those games are Friday nights. Where now it's Tuesday, Friday. So there's a quick turnaround, really. If you think about it, after a Friday night game, you have a Saturday practice and a Monday practice, and that's it. And then after a Tuesday game, you have Wednesday, Thursday, and plus you have to add in the additional layer that these guys need to recover their bodies. Like somebody like Andrew, in a 32-minute game, probably played 31 minutes on Wednesday night. Okay, so his legs, his calves, his body's sore. He needs to recover a little bit, and coaches need to manage their legs a little bit more. But they also have to get their heads ready in terms of strategic preparation. So it's an ongoing puzzle that complicates the process more for coaches. But that's their responsibility, and most coaches are great at in-game adjustments. So I think it's going to be a lot of in-game adjustments too, and learning new wrinkles and how to implement those. And communication, I think, is key too.
So then, what would you guys say is the hardest part about playing with COVID restrictions?
I don't know, Andrew.
Hardest part,
Yeah, I'm going to spin it
I
on
don't
you.
even know.
Spin it on you, Connor. I think the best part is your games become so much more visible in the sense that I showed these guys yesterday when we were watching film. 2,500 people watched the YouTube stream from Wednesday night.
Oh yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome. That's awesome. So they can watch it from, the comfort of their own home. It's almost like, playing in this pandemic has made high school basketball a lot like college basketball in the sense that you can watch it on TV, which is something that's definitely unique for these guys. And it doesn't replicate the in-game experience of having your classmates and peers there cheering for you and dressed up and screaming. But it is something cool that goes along with it, right? And I think sometimes if we focus on the hard things or what's really inconvenient about playing in COVID, you lose sight of some of the things that have become really cool about it and how much technology has advanced in every area. But go ahead, Andrew. You're out there playing with a mask on. I have to stay
Yeah, I know.
pace with a mask on. I get tired teaching class, so I don't know how these guys are playing, but
I mean, originally the mask was tough for me, but I've been wearing one for 2 months playing basketball now, so I mean it's not really that tough because I'm used to it. But I would say the hardest part, honestly, is not being able to get up like shots in the morning because I can't come into school without like having the sign thing or whatever it is. Like we used to do that every single morning. I used to do that at least every single morning last year, and I can't be able to do that. So I mean, it's just gym space. Honestly, I feel like is the biggest challenge this year because a bunch of sports are playing at the same time this year. So I feel like that's our biggest challenge, honestly.
Yeah, Wags, I know you said the masks haven't really been bothering you, but have you noticed with some of your teammates, like, kind of not being used to it and having to, like, take it off their nose and stuff every once in a while, just get, like, quick breaths in and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've done that too. I mean, I have to like pull it away a little bit because it's kind of hard to breathe or it gets in your mouth sometimes. I mean, I heard a couple of guys on their team, especially huffing and puffing, so it's kind of funny to get a laugh at mid game. But I mean, I feel like we'll just get used to it in a couple games actually. So
All right, that concludes that part, and now it's time for the fun part of the podcast. We have the rapid fire. Krebs, would you like to take the first question?
I know Andrew's been looking forward to this. He asked for a copy of the questions. I said, you got to just go in with what you have, man. Know thyself. Therein lies the glory. Let's hear what Andrew has to say here. I'm excited. I'm learning just as much as you guys are.
First one's pretty easy. What's your favorite movie?
Monsters Inc. Classic. I love that movie.
Animated guy. Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
So this is actually crazy because Wagner, you were on the show last year during Super Bowl week as well. So I just thought it was kind of crazy. So I gotta ask, do you got Mahomes or Brady this year?
Oh gosh. I'll go with Brady. Old, reliable. So I mean, he's usually the favorite, but this year he's the underdog. I feel like so. I'll go with Brady.
Coach, what about you?
I love Brady. I mean, obviously, I think you guys know I'm a big Packer fan. So a couple of weeks ago it was really disappointing. I thought this was 12's year to kind of get another one, but Brady's tough to beat. He's tough to beat, and that, as Andrew said, old reliable man. He doesn't make mistakes. He puts his team in the position to win all the time, and you got to respect that. So I'm gonna go with Brady.
So Wags, speaking of like a Super Bowl experience, what would be your ideal sports experience? Like, what would be your biggest like sports accomplishment?
Biggest sports accomplishment. I don't even know. Especially this year. I mean, I can't say state because we don't have state, but I feel like the biggest thing for me this year, especially, is just winning the conference championship, making it there, winning it. And beyond that, I would say moving to college and actually be able to play a basketball at college. So
if you couldn't play basketball as your main sport, which other sport would you pick?
Ooh, great question.
I was pretty good at soccer when I was younger, but I mean, I didn't really like it anymore. I have pretty good feet, I would say. So I'd say soccer. My brother loves soccer now, so shout out Grant Wagner.
It's funny. So Coach Pardon was watching our orange-white scrimmage, and he used to in my first year mention like how good he thought Hanno could have been at football, and he said the same thing about Andrew. He's like, I watch his feet and just watch his explosion. Like, can we get him in the slot in March? I go, Coach, I need him.
Nope.
I need him through March 13th. So, but Andrew does have that quick burst and change of pace ability that I think would serve him well on the football field too. I don't know how much he likes getting hit across the middle, but
Nah, definitely not.
Wags, currently, who is your favorite NBA player?
Favorite, Damian Lillard. I mean, he's small. I like small guys to watch, especially. Because I'm small. I'm 5. I'm listed at 5'10", but technically I'm 5'11". So,
there's no way.
dude,
There's
yes,
absolutely no way.
I am.
Anybody who's listening to this for scouting purposes, he's probably about 5'6".
That's a lie. What are you talking about? But yeah, I'd say Damian Lillard.
All right, and finally, to wrap it all up, we asked this question a lot last year, I'm pretty sure. But Andrew, if you could improve one part of your game, what would it be?
I feel like a lot of my teammates would say this year, especially, I've improved leadership and like communication life. So I mean, honestly, just getting that to the next level would be my biggest stride for me. I think I'm usually a pretty quiet guy, and it's been a struggle for me to speak up and overcome that challenge. And I think Coach Scott, Coach White, Coach Rugg, Rowley all helped me with that. Especially my teammates giving me a chance to do it and really giving me all and that I could rely on them too for help.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for the rapid fire for this week. Coach, Andrew, thanks for joining us this morning. It was a lot of fun. Do you guys have any shout outs you'd like to give out before we head out here?
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to all the people, who watched from home on Wednesday and supported us. Even like coming to school that day, it felt a little bit more normal. Teachers were saying good luck and stuff like that. And so like just the tremendous teachers who have supported our student athletes, whether it's Ms. Becker, Ms. Bertfa, Ms. Ballerini, all the library staff in the ARC, like everybody wants to see our guys be successful and have helped our guys in myriad ways. So I want to say thanks to the Hersey staff and the Hersey community and just kind of those friends of the program fans too who, send those good luck texts and, give you feedback and stuff like that. Even when the last thing you want to receive is feedback, you still get it. But that's important because it's the breakfast of champions learning about how to improve.
Oh, yeah. All right, everybody. That's all we have today. Once again, guys, thank you for coming on. And to our viewers, please be sure to subscribe, like our video, and we'll be coming out with our second one real soon. Thanks for watching.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.